What the fuck, man? It's just you? I thought I was taken for real. What the fuck do you want this time?
You're gonna finish it. For real this time.
Christ, man. Fucking untie me then.
You gonna do it?
If you don't Guantanamo Bay me again. Fuck, man. It's not that serious.
It is for me.
Alright. So, we made that little intro because I'm sure at least one subscriber had the idea that maybe we were abducted by the CIA because we stopped posting immediately. So, we figured it would be funny. But, yep, here's tier 3. I believe there's like 2 or 3 theories. Remember the theories?
2 or 3 theories.
Yeah. Because everything is real, except there's a few theories mixed in there.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And I think the last tier is like all theories. But, yeah, this one only has a few. But, again, the JFK assassination is a theory, and, like, it's real. I'm sorry.
I mean, is it really a theory? The United States literally hired a bunch of people to investigate it who were, like, congressmen and shit, and they came to the conclusion it was a conspiracy.
Yeah, but so all of this shit has, like, leaked documents from the CIA.
Oh.
So if it doesn't have leaked documents from the CIA...
It's considered a theory.
Yeah, that's why, like, disclaimer, like, it's a theory, but really everything is a theory because it's a secretive organization. Yeah. But, yeah, sorry it took so long. Life just got in the way. You know how it be. Alright. So first on the list is the 1949 Syrian coup. There's a lot of coups.
Yes.
So the 1949 Syrian coup was a coup that took place on March 30th, 1949, and was the first military coup in modern Syrian history, which overthrew the country's democratically elected government. And so Miles Copeland, who was the CIA's Damascus chief, so like stationed in the capital of Syria, said that Syria, as the first colony in the Arab world, so the first colony, colonized by the West, they were the first colony to achieve complete political independence from Europe, and so Washington saw them as a test case for America's capacity for exerting a democratizing influence on Arab countries, even though the government they overthrew was already a democracy.
Nice.
But whatever. It's only a democracy if you let American companies steal all your shit.
Yeah, and be based there.
Okay, so there is some controversy about just how much the CIA and the US helped make the coup happen. But, guess what I found out?
Huh?
What is the one thing that the US always fucks with the Middle East for?
Oil?
Yes. So, the Syrian government before the coup, the democratic one, opposed the construction of an ExxonMobil/Chevron oil pipeline that had to go from Saudi Arabia to another Middle Eastern country, but had to go straight through Syria. So the Syrians had to build it and agree with it. And they opposed it 4 days after the coup. The deal was ratified.
Huh.
Maybe a coincidence. Maybe.
Not likely.
No, not at all.
I wouldn't think very likely.
Not at all. So, yeah. Anytime there's oil involved, you know the CIA did that shit. I'm sorry. It's just ridiculous. Some controversy, my ass.
It's our lifeblood, brother.
Yep. Alright, Timber Sycamore. So, Timber Sycamore was a classified... This one's crazy, too. Was a classified weapons supply and training program run by the CIA and supported by some Arab intelligence services, including Saudi intelligence. So, Timber Sycamore was launched in 2012 or 2013. This is Obama's thing.
Nice.
It supplied money, weaponry, and training to rebel forces fighting Syrian President Bashar al-Assad in the Syrian civil war. Well, guess who was fighting Syria in that time?
Who?
ISIS. So the rebels that America was funding and giving weapons to were fighting alongside ISIS and Al Qaeda
Nice.
to overthrow Bashar al-Assad.
As we do.
So many of these weapons went straight to ISIS and Al Qaeda.
Yeah.
It's so bad that one report found that anti-tank weapons purchased by the U.S. ended up in possession of the Islamic State within 2 months of leaving the factory.
2 months?
It was since leaving the factory. It was
So
literally
fresh.
just straight to ISIS.
Yeah.
So thanks, Obama.
Yeah, thanks, Obama.
Straight to ISIS. Okay, Manuel Noriega. So I tried to find that Parenti speech where he talks about Noriega, but he talks about everybody. You can't find that shit. But Manuel Noriega was a Panamanian dictator, politician, and military officer who was the de facto ruler of Panama from 83 to 89. He amassed a personal fortune through drug trafficking operations, and he had long-standing ties to the U.S. intelligence agencies. Yes, the biggest drug runners are the CIA.
Yeah.
So, beginning in the 1950s, Noriega worked with U.S. intelligence and became one of the most valuable sources. He also served as a conduit for illicit weapons, military equipment, and cash destined for U.S.-backed forces throughout Latin America. So, you know those Contras that were murdering children and burning
Yeah.
villages? He helped get the CIA to help them. So,
Nice.
good guy.
Yeah. Upstanding.
But Noriega's relationship with the U.S. deteriorated in the late 80s after he was talking with other countries' intelligence agencies. They're like, bro, you double-crossed us. Even though you're sure you're just doing the same shit with other people. And
yeah,
they're like,
other
nah.
imperialists.
So the DEA arrested him.
The DEA arrested his ass?
The DEA arrested him and he spent like the rest of his life in prison. Just goes to show that no matter how good of an ally you are, the CIA, you fuck up one time, you're done.
Yeah.
Say goodbye. Okay, so we finally get to one of the more interesting ones, and this one is a theory. But again, the JFK one is a theory and it's not. So, this is actually the RFK assassination. So, Bobby Kennedy, JFK's brother, who was also assassinated. I mean, even that fact alone. What are the odds two brothers just get capped immediately after one after the other?
Yeah, huh.
Just two lone gunmen that are fucking insane. Come the fuck on.
But also incredibly skilled.
Yes. Okay, so he was assassinated following his California primary victory. So when he was running for president, after his brother just got killed by the CIA, he's running for president and he won like the biggest primary vote in the country, California, for Democratic election. So the man convicted of the assassination was a Palestinian immigrant named Sirhan Sirhan. Based name, Sirhan Sirhan. But as JFK, it seems that there were more than one gunman. So in 2007, analysis of an audio recording of the shooting indicated that at least 13 shots were fired, and Sirhan apparently killed him with one revolver. 13 shots were fired.
There's
Also,
a quick reloader.
yeah, dude, he's got fanning. So it seems that there were definitely at least two gunmen. In 2007, analysis of an audio recording showed there were at least 13. I already said that. The recording revealed that at least two instances in which the time between shots was shorter than humanly possible, and that different resonances showed different calibers of guns.
Yeah. That adds up.
They also found that the three bullets that hit Kennedy, the only three bullets, were all fired from the same gun, but did not match those bullets that Sirhan had.
Huh.
Interesting.
I wonder. They just, it just shot the wrong kind of bullets a couple times.
So, there's a theory supported by psychologist and hypnosis expert Edward Simpson Callis after 35 hours of work with Sirhan in San Quentin prison in 1969. Sirhan claimed then, and has continued to claim now, to have no memory of the assassination or the aftermath. And Sirhan's lawyers in 2010 accused the CIA of hypnotizing... His actual lawyers accused the CIA of hypnotizing Sirhan and making him an involuntary participant. Much like some theories about JFK and Lee Harvey Oswald, that they kind of like with MK Ultra stuff, made him go to a certain spot and look guilty as fuck. So, yeah, the CIA did kill JFK, I have no doubt personally, so I can completely can get behind the theory that they killed RFK too.
Yeah, that seems pretty likely.
He was one of the favorites to win the presidency, and he himself believed that the Warren Commission, the one you were talking about, or not the one that you were talking about, the first one that didn't say it was a conspiracy, that just said, that had fucking, what is it, Alan Dulles, the head of the commission, who was like the leader of the CIA for like decades. Yeah, very suspicious. He called the Warren Commission a, quote, shoddy piece of craftsmanship. RFK, dude. Okay, say what you will about JFK and RFK, like, their politics weren't anything spectacular, but my god, they had balls.
Chads.
They had balls, dude.
Opposing the CIA like that.
Yep. And so, yeah, they both had problems with the CIA, and they had courage, and they died for it, but shit happens. So what do you think? CIA did it?
I would think most certainly, yeah. I mean, like...
Sirhan, dude, he didn't even have the right bullets.
Yeah, I mean, that alone... Like,
it's just stupid.
If it was a real investigation, they would have instantly been like, oh, that's not the gun that did it.
Yep.
So, I mean, that alone just shows you that it was definitely some sort of inside job, and I would think it was the CIA.
Definitely more people were involved, and they just didn't care to...
Yeah, which, I mean, a high fucking value target randomly gets assassinated and you're not going to investigate it?
Yeah.
That probably means the investigators are a part of the...
That's a good point.
Part of the problem.
Okay, so the next one is the Bangkok plot. So the Bangkok plot was a late 1950s international conspiracy in Cambodia, the goal being to topple Prince Norodom Sihanouk, or something, of Cambodia. And so Cambodia had established relations with Communist China. Before the U.S. Do you know the USA didn't even recognize China until the 60s?
Goddamn.
Like late 60s. They were just like, nah, Taiwan is China. China is not China. They weren't allowed to go to the UN because the U.S. said so. So yeah, before they even recognized China as a country, Cambodia was already talking to them. Right, so the CIA needed to overthrow them. So you gotta do what you gotta do. Alright, this one's probably gonna be your favorite. Operation Midnight Climax.
Spectacular name.
So it was an operation carried out by the CIA as a sub-project of MKUltra. It was established in order to study the effects of LSD on non-consenting individuals, prostitutes on the CIA payroll. So the CIA was fucking employing prostitutes,
nice.
Alright?
A little hypocritical.
Yeah. Were instructed to lure clients back to the safe houses where they were given a wide range of substances, including LSD, and monitored behind one-way glass. The prostitutes were instructed in the use of post-coital questioning to investigate whether the victims could be convinced to involuntarily reveal secrets. The victims were sometimes fed subliminal messages in attempts to induce them to involuntary actions, including criminal activity, such as robbery, assault, and assassination. Many of the CIA operatives involved in the experiments voluntarily indulged in the drugs and prostitutes.
Hell yeah.
Yep. They're all like, I want to work on Midnight Climax.
Yeah, I'll do it. Goddamn, dude.
Senate investigators were told that the goals of these experiments were to study mind control and sexual behavior. More specifically, to learn about the secrets of brainwashing to gain control over enemy spies and protect U.S. agents. Other objectives included finding drugs that could incapacitate entire buildings via poisoned foods, which would create confusion, anxiety, fear, and other symptoms such as headache and earaches.
Everyone's just suddenly high as hell in the office.
Yep.
Man, where are those donuts?
They're like, where are those Midnight Climax guys? Oh. And they're like, yes.
Send in the prostitutes.
Go, go, go! Right. Another aspect that they tested was the effect of combining LSD and isolation. That's gotta be the worst thing.
Well, I mean, that's what they were doing in the one-way glass, too, right?
Well, they were at least talking with a prostitute. This is just like in a deprivation chamber.
Fucking evil.
Where the subjects would be dosed and isolated for months at a time with minimum food and water. You come out...
different.
No,
entirely broken.
Broken, yeah.
You can't... That's awful.
Yes. Yes, and that's when people are like, "Oh, MK Ultra, it's so silly. They were just giving college kids some LSD and watch." No.
I mean, LSD can fuck you up in a completely safe environment, in a completely controlled, consensual situation,
Yep.
let alone months of being forced to use it
In a deprivation
in a
tank.
deprivation tank. I mean, I think it's like almost impossible not for that to drive you absolutely fucking insane.
Yep. So here's my theory. You ready? So when you combine the CIA experiment with the French town that suddenly remember I told you about that? That French town that suddenly became everyone was just hallucinating out of their ass. And they were experimenting with things that would disperse drugs to large groups of people. And the Point Pleasant Mothman sightings and the Men in Black, bro. Point Pleasant was just like the French town, just giving LSD in mass.
And then they were like, or
Mothman.
it's a big fucking bat.
So I think we solved it that Mothman was indeed CIA. Yeah.
Either that or they made him.
True. Operation Mothman, where's
I mean-
it gonna leak?
They're going in for hypnosis and shit. Like, what else are they doing that we just have absolutely no idea that they've done?
Yep. I mean, I think the later theories are gonna be crazy with like alien stuff.
Well, I mean, we know that MK Ultra happened. I mean, nothing's off the table with them. Like, that's as pretty much as degenerate as it gets. Just completely annihilating people
Yep.
and their being. Like, you're literally just fucking killing someone, but leaving them
Sure.
alive.
Recalled Degenerate Intelligence Agency. Okay. So yeah, that's the end of that one. But
DIA.
yeah. The 1964 Brazilian coup was an American-backed coup that overthrew Brazilian President Goulart. Goulart criticized the Bay of Pigs and had been nationalizing industries in Brazil. Within 2 years of his overthrow, foreign companies gained back control of about half of Brazilian industries.
Huh.
So yeah, if you're in any country in the world and you start nationalizing shit, you better have a strong backed military.
For real.
Okay, so this is the one I did most of the research on because, okay, it deals with, it's not really as much about the CIA as the other ones, it's more about colonial history. Okay. And like colonial history is so, it's like the most entertaining thing in the world for me to learn about because it's literally like, only the Nazis are closer to like orcs versus like hobbits than the fucking colonizers. It's just like reading Lord of the Rings, like the evil people versus the good people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It really is, yeah.
Okay, so get ready to get sad on this one, and also angry, and just everything in between. So the Congo,
Yeah.
the African Congo,
Mhm.
and like if you read about African colonial history, dude, your heart like dies a little bit more inside every single time. So first, some backstory, some history. So in 1885, King Leopold II of Belgium decided to colonize the Congo rather than just ship slaves to the Americas. So for 23 years, he personally controlled the Congo as a slave plantation, not as a colony, as a strict slave plantation. Extracting the Congo's natural resources, such as rubber. Rubber was the biggest one. Also gold and diamonds and shit. At least 10 million Congolese people were massacred in those 20 years. 10 million. You want, like, this is another thing too, is people are often think that Hitler was like a complete aberration of world history, and I mean, he was. Nazi Germany was horrible. But again, you look at colonial history, it's not the first time.
Has historical precedence.
Yes.
I mean, he literally based a lot of his, like, what's it called? Like, methods and methodology on the United States and what they did to the Native
natives.
Americans. It's like a thing. Like,
Yeah.
he praised America for how they dealt with natives.
Yep. And a thing about natives, dude. Living up here, right? You drive by the fucking... I think I've told you about this before, but you drive by the sign where Ishi was sighted. Remember Ishi, the last Indian of, like... I don't even know the tribe. Shame on me, but... The last... And it's just like, you drive down the road, it's just like a... It's just... What is it called? A suburb? And then all of a sudden there's just a plaque saying the last Ishi Indian. It's just a plaque and a bench And I'm just like, bro, really? This is how we're gonna, like, memorialize the genocide of this guy's tribe? Just a fucking plaque and a bench.
Yeah. It's fucking disgusting.
It's disgusting. Okay. So 10 million in 20 years. And this is excluding the people who were mutilated or who had starved. You know, in the Congo, if you didn't bring enough rubber, they would cut your hand off.
Yeah, I've heard of that shit.
Or cut your children's hands off.
Vile.
So after those 23 years, because of word spreading of how horrible the Congolese were being treated, Belgium officially made the Congo a colony instead of a slave plantation. But, of course, colonization is just another form of slavery, just a little less bad, a little more acceptable.
Socially.
In the liberal worldview.
Yeah. Libs.
The Congolese weren't even allowed to attend secondary school until the 50s.
Wow. The 50s.
The 50s. So this is where the story of the man, the myth, the legend, dude, Patrice Lumumba starts. So, Lumumba was an anti-imperialist poet and nationalist. So, one thing about nationalism, right? In the U.S., it's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Nationalism is disgusting. But if you're a colonized person, you need nationalism because you need your country back. So it's a good thing
robbed
to be
from you.
Yeah, like Ho Chi Minh was originally just a nationalist because he wanted the Vietnamese to have their own country and land. Same with Lumumba, he was a nationalist.
Yeah, I mean, being a nationalist to America is stupid because it's not even our nation. We stole it from previously existing nations.
Yeah. And so, anti-imperialist poet and journalist, in 1958 he founded the Congolese National Movement, which was an anti-colonial political party inspired by Pan-Africanism and calling for national liberation. Do you know what Pan-Africanism is?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll just explain it. It's just the idea that all of Africa should rise up together to overthrow the colonizers. Completely based.
Very.
So, after a speech at a Pan-African Congress in Ghana, so, you know, they would have these Pan-African Congresses across the country, or across the continent, and he would go, because he was well-known then. The Belgian cops arrested him for inciting a riot, where he was sentenced to half a year in prison. But, while he was in prison, his party, the Congolese National Movement, won a majority in the elections, and so he was freed.
Hell yeah.
So in June of 1960, Lumumba became the first prime minister of a now independent Congo, the Republic of Congo. At a conference that Lumumba... Okay, this is so based. Get ready for this. So at a conference... Okay, I don't think Thomas Sankara is on this tier list, but if he's not, I'm going to add his story in there too, because it's like the same shit. It's just so awesome. Like,
yeah.
The most inspiring stories, dude. Like, this one has the same energy where Thomas Sankara went to go meet with the French after they kicked the French out of their country, and he just put a pistol on the table, and he was like, fuck with me.
Fuck around and find out.
This is kind of the same energy, alright? So, at a conference that Lumumba attended, the Belgian king at the time gave a speech praising King Leopold II, saying he went to the Congo to civilize, not to conquer. Yes, he civilized them.
Much needed.
10 million person genocide. So in response, Lumumba got up and gave his most famous speech in front of all the Belgian government and king and shit. And so this is a long quote, but I'm going to say it. I kind of edited it down a little bit, but this is part of his speech. So he said, "The Republic of the Congo has been proclaimed and our country is now in the hands of its own children. Together we are going to establish social justice and make sure everyone has just compensation for his labor. We were subjected to contempt, insults, and blows that we endured morning, night, and evening. We have seen our land seized in the name of allegedly legal laws, which in fact recognized only that might is right. We have seen that the law was not the same for a white and for a black, accommodating for the first, cruel and inhumane for the other. Who will ever forget the massacres where so many of our brothers perished? No Congolese worthy of the name will ever be able to forget that it was by fighting that it has won. We are proud of this struggle of tears, of fire, and of blood to the depths of our being. Long live to the fighters of our national liberation." Just sick as fuck. And
Shredded.
so, as you can tell, the West was not happy about this.
Yeah.
And Time magazine said his speech was a venomous attack on Belgium. He didn't even say, "You killed 10 million of my people." He just said, "We've been struggling for this shit." Yeah.
Venomous attack.
Yeah. He should have fucking actually attacked them.
Pour some venom.
Within 7 days of this speech, the Belgians were working with colonial sympathizing rebels to overthrow Lumumba. Within 7 days.
7 fucking days.
Patrice went to the UN for help dealing with the rebel armies. They denied it. The whole UN said nah. So he went to the Soviet Union for help. And so the Soviets were going to help. But one important aspect about the Congo is that the world's best uranium mines come from the Congo. Okay? And this is right smack dab in the middle of the Cold War, and the US needed the Congo's mines for nuclear weapons, and they needed it to be open for their mining operations, but they also could not let it fall into Soviet influence.
Yeah.
So the CIA declared that Lumumba needed to be assassinated. And it has been claimed by Stephen Weissman, staff director of the House of Representatives Subcommittee on Africa, that the CIA played a large role in Patrice Lumumba's assassination, having conspirators directly on the CIA payroll. And so just like with Thomas Sankara, one of Lumumba's closest allies, a man named Mobutu, helped the Belgians and Americans get rid of Lumumba. And Lumumba trusted Mobutu so much that he gave him the office of Chief of the Army. Same with Sankara. He gave, I forgot his name, but he gave his buddy Chief of the Army. And
That's
they both
so
just...
sad, dude. It's like one of your best friends, you're like, hey,
Yep.
I trust you, you're in control of my fucking military, and then they betray him.
Yep, been struggling with him for years. Like, I don't know about this one, but in Thomas Sankara's spot, I forgot his name of his friend, but he made him Chief of the Army, and like they were friends for years, and Sankara's dad chose a wife for him, like this other dude, and then after he was assassinated, Sankara's dad said he lost 2 sons that day.
It's fucking so sad, dude.
Yep. So Mobutu had Lumumba arrested, and after torturing Lumumba, he was executed by a firing squad. And in order to completely get rid of his memory, the Belgians dismembered and dissolved him in acid. It's so bad. I told you to get sad,
You
man.
can't even bury his ass? What's his body gonna do?
It gets worse.
They drank the acid.
I wish, and they would fucking die. The only physical remains left was Lumumba's gold tooth, which a Belgian officer kept as a trophy. Dude, it's so bad. It's like treating him like he was a fucking rhino.
Literally like some sort of prize animal from the fucking Sahara.
Yep. And so Belgium just a few months ago has decided to give Lumumba a single tooth back to the Congo. A few months ago, literally. I think in June.
Like, alright, we've had our fun with it. That's awful.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the only good thing is you don't know who that fucking Belgian officer is. You only know who Lumumba is. He'll be remembered.
Yeah, that's true. Left a legacy.
But I got most of this info from Adiola Fayuhan on YouTube. And she's like an African lady who does African history. It was a really good video. So I'll put her channel in the description. Yeah, that's it. Just like so depraved, dude. Taking
Genuinely.
his fucking gold tooth.
As a fucking prize, a trophy.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. Alright. Next one. I don't think the rest are very sad.
Okay. That's good.
The Albanian subversion. So, Operation Valuable, or the Albanian subversion, was one of the earliest covert paramilitary operations in the Eastern Bloc. The main goal of the operation was to overthrow the government of communist Albania. So MI6, which is the British CIA, and the CIA launched a joint subversion operation using Albanian expatriates as agents. The plan called for parachute drops of royalists into the Mati region in central Albania. The original plan was that if they could parachute in enough well-trained agents, they could organize a massive popular revolt, which the Allies would supply by airdrops. In time, this revolt would spill out to a civil war, which was their plan. For 2 years after this landing, small groups of British-trained Albanians left every so often from training camps in Malta and Britain and West Germany, and most of the operations were a disaster. So, totally failed. They just got capped by the Soviets.
Fuck
But
yeah.
Wikipedia calls these agents, quote, veterans of World War II guerrilla and Civil War veterans. That's Nazis. That's Nazis.
Yeah.
That's Nazis, yes. Because who was fighting the Soviets in World War II? It's Nazis.
Yeah, Nazis.
It was Nazi collaborators that were sent in. But apparently they're just veterans of World War II.
Wait, who were the actual militants or the people who were training the militants?
I don't know about the people training, probably, but the people who were dropped in. They were royalists from before Albania became socialist, and guerrilla and Civil War veterans. The guerrilla armies were the collaborators of the Nazis.
Yeah, so literal Nazis.
Just Nazis.
Nice. Good thing they all got fucking capped.
Yep. Okay. 1964 Bolivian coup. So, the 1964 Bolivian coup was a coup under the leadership of Vice President Barrientos and Bolivian Army Commander-in-Chief Alfredo Candia against the President Victor Paz Estencero, sorry. He was the leader of the Bolivarian National Revolution of 1952, who recently had been re-elected for his third term in office. So the coup began early on November 3rd when troops of the Angavi Regiment rebelled in La Paz. By the evening, all the major military units had backed the coup, and on the afternoon of November 4th, the revolutionary president with his family was exiled. So after the coup was established into a junta, which is just a dictatorship, some sporadic clashes between workers' militias and armies were reported, but they were soon subsided. After the coup, miners' salaries were reduced 50%.
50%?
And the CIA spent $600,000 to re-elect Barrientos, and Gulf Oil donated an additional $460,000.
Wow.
Yes, now you see what it's really about. Keeping workers' wages low in oil.
It's about exploitation.
Yep. Okay. Project Artichoke. So Project Artichoke was a CIA project that researched interrogation methods. Preceded by Project Bluebird, Artichoke officially arose in 1951 and was operated by the CIA's Office of Scientific Intelligence. The primary goal of Project Artichoke was to determine whether a person could be involuntarily made to perform an act of attempted assassination.
Man,
Sirhan vibes.
they're just fucking hitting those. They really want to get people assassinated by people that
So
aren't
this is
CIA.
this is shit in the 50s and 60s, dude. What the fuck is going on now?
Oh, God.
You think the Japanese guy was fucking a plant?
No, actually.
No?
This is completely off topic, but have you heard of that, like, weird, I think Korean dude who has, like, some cult?
Yeah, I have heard of that.
That dude, Shinzo Abe, that's his name.
Yeah.
He had affiliations with that cult. And the dude who killed him, his mother, was a part of that cult. And he said that the reason he did it or something like that was because she gave them all their money.
Fuck, kind of based.
Well, I mean, they're like a cringe, fucking awful cult. They're a little better than they used to be, but I watched a video about it, and like, the new current leader says that Jesus had an AR-15.
What?
Because he had an iron rod. It's like a thing in the Bible. He had like an iron rod, and he says that it was an AR-15.
No, Jesus was the guy who capped him, and he's got the fucking iron rod shotgun
Yeah,
made.
for real, right there, dude. That's not what Shinzo Abe said. That's what the leader of the...
Yeah.
He's like the son of the original dude. But that's supposedly why he did that. So I think that guy's actually just kind of based. He wasn't hypnotized.
Funny dude. Okay. The project also studied hypnosis, forced morphine addiction, and subsequent forced withdrawal. It's just so absurdly evil, the shit they do with drugs.
Literally like you're writing a novel about evil motherfuckers. Oh no, it's actually, this shit just happened.
Yep, this is your ruling class. And the use of other chemicals, including LSD, to produce amnesia and other vulnerable states and subjects. So Artichoke led to MKUltra. A CIA report states that if hypnosis succeeded, assassins could be created to assassinate a, quote, prominent redacted politician, or if necessary, an American official. I wonder if they put that to use sometime.
I wonder, yeah.
So, Project MK Naomi. So, MK Naomi is generally reported to be a successor to MK Ultra, focusing on biological projects, including biological warfare agents, specifically to store materials that could either incapacitate or kill a test subject, and to develop devices for the diffusion of such materials.
Hog.
You know, just war crime practicing.
Yeah.
Nothing serious.
As you do, be in the CIA.
There's not much info which has come out about this project, but it was the CIA's project for biological covert warfare research. I wonder what it's called now. Project MK. Probably MK Facebook.
Well, everyone knows what MK Ultra is, so they probably have like a down low name now.
Project Kitty Cat.
Project Cum.
Project Thick Hog. Nixon resignation. So this one's a theory, another theory. So this is a theory that the CIA was behind Nixon's resignation. I kind of went over this one a bit in the first tier episode, but to remind you, one of the 5 burglars that did the Watergate scandal were being paid by the CIA, and upon his arrest, the CIA withheld information about him from federal prosecutors.
Nice.
So I don't really know where to find more information about this theory. It's just a theory that the CIA was behind his resignation, as well as framing him for Watergate or whatever.
I see.
I don't find it unbelievable.
Yeah.
They're willing to kill JFK. They're probably willing to frame Nixon.
Yeah, they've definitely taken more extreme measures than that.
Okay, Operation Condor. So Operation Condor was a United States-backed campaign of political repression and state terror involving intelligence operations and assassinations of opponents. It was officially and formally implemented in November 1975 by the right-wing dictatorships of the southern cone of South America. Condor's key members were the governments in Argentina, Chile, Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, and Brazil. Ecuador and Peru later joined too. The United States government provided planning, coordinating, and training on torture, and technical support and supplied military aid for the juntas during the Johnson, Nixon, Ford, Carter, and Reagan administrations.
Yeah.
This was all done, of course, to protect neoliberalism and free markets in those countries by destroying the enemies of those systems. Just the worst things possible you can do to a human being to protect profit.
Enhanced interrogation.
Yeah, enhanced interrogation. They got Jesus showing up with an AR-15.
With his iron rod.
Okay, this is the last one. Rafael Trujillo assassination. So, this one's kind of boring, honestly. The CIA assassinated their long-term ally, Trujillo, a brutal dictator of the Dominican Republic. This one's kind of odd, and I'm not too interested in learning about the feuds of, like, fucking the CIA and their collaborators.
Yeah.
But somewhere along the way, Trujillo tried to assassinate someone that the U.S. didn't approve of being killed, and for that, they decided to assassinate him.
Well.
So it's just like the first, what was it, the first guy? Just like Manuel Noriega, where he was a good puppet until he wasn't, and the CIA capped him.
Capped him immediately. Crazy.
Which, to be fair, maybe Shinzo Abe.
Maybe. I mean, although I think Shinzo Abe was a big fan of the CIA.
I know.
He was kind of wasn't he like a corporate fuck?
Oh yeah, but so were these guys.
Yeah, I guess you're right, although I don't think...
Let's choose to believe that guy was just based.
I think he was, genuinely. Yeah. I mean... Yeah, I don't know.
Alright, that's the last one. Any final thoughts?
CIA is depraved. I don't know.
Yep. Tier 4 will probably come out next week. I'll do the research for it, and then we'll record it. Alright, and, don't fucking kidnap me again.
No promises. We'll see how long it takes to upload the next